Welcome back in, folks. People drive from Georgia to Madisonville to buy their boats at Madisonville Marine. They come from Nashville. They come from all points across East Tennessee to get to Madisonville Marine to buy their boats. Find out why so many of their buyers are repeat buyers. Bob Hodge bought from Madisonville Marine. I think he would attest to their goodness.
Atlanta, Nashville, and Powell.
You just kept coming from different areas. All right. You were happy with your boat, right?
Incredibly happy.
Very good. Right down there, incredibly happy to have David Ligon back with us, former Vol offensive lineman. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're thrilled today.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a quick start by looking at the numbers for Josh Dobbs, and I will take a pass on their passing game. No thank you. Tennessee, 12 of 19 for 165 total yesterday. But then you start taking stuff out. Take out the Jennings to Dobbs 58-yard trick pass. Take Kamara's 24-yard pass to Ethan Wolf out. A play that Butch Jones had run at Cincinnati, by the way. Ran that exact same play. And then remove that 4 for 4, 41 yards in the fourth quarter against that kind of a prevent defense from Florida. Dobbs was 6 of 13 for 42 yards outside of that. That is just not good enough. David, I'm going to start with you. When you only have one arm in a fight, how do you win games?
You know, it's difficult to do. You know, in the Southeastern Conference, you can win a lot of football games rushing, you know, but you do have to complement it with a passing game, and you know, we just don't have that right now. I think part of it is I don't know if Joshua Dobbs is a great thrower. You know, I think he can do a lot with his legs, but passing, I haven't been impressed. And what's going to fix that for him? I think that's coaching. I don't have a lot of confidence there. I mean, the guy that is his coach last coached quarterbacks in 1985. That's a long time ago.
Well, he had a hand in a lot. I mean, even guys like Tom Brady and I think Brian Greasy said he served, he helped me in their offense. So, I mean, Jim Chaney technically was the offensive line coach here for a while, and he was quarterback.
Yeah.
But
and Tom Brady was a good college player, but he was much better when he got to the pro. So let's keep that in mind.
Good volley. Good volley. Guys, your thoughts on the pass game? One quick, I'll throw this to the board. Your pass game looked better last year than it does this year.
Yep.
I mean, it does. So, I mean, I think part of Pig Howard was suspended for a game. Pig Howard wasn't healthy enough to play yesterday. He was a consistent guy that in the past with Justin Worley at quarterback, you would run him on slants and shallow crosses. Haven't seen as much of that with Dobbs, which makes me wonder if they're a little scared of his inaccuracy throwing the ball across the middle. If you throw it inaccurately at the sidelines, there's a good chance it's just incomplete. You get one tipped across the middle, bad things happen. Thoughts on where the issue lies with the pass game? Can you fix it?
I think it's threefold. I think part of it's pass protection. I think part of it's receivers not getting open. And I think part of it is Dobbs has not been accurate. And one of the things last year, that they did have a better passing game with Dobbs for the most part, but they only faced one really good defense, and that was Missouri. And they weren't very effective in the passing game against Missouri. Yeah. So I think maybe if they're playing South Carolina every week or Kentucky last year, they'd be fine. But when they played the better pass defenses, they've struggled.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, still last year, Worley was getting sacked. So the offensive line, you kind of look at it and say, well, it's the same group. It's not like we're giving up that many more sacks. We had a guy that couldn't move, and he threw to wide receivers, and they were somehow doing better last year. This year, you know, wide receiver you is wide receiver who? You know, I mean, you look at it around, I think you have to put a lot on the wide receivers, and I think you have to put a lot on the coaching staff, because I got to think that the guy can throw some of these passes here and there. I mean, you're not throwing any and seeing anything turn into very much.
Quickly, 10 seconds, then I got to move next.
I was just going to say, and has anybody seen in a game that's evolved into so many screens in college football, Tennessee can't run a screen pass. They're the worst screen team I think I've seen.
All right, we are getting word. Over on campus is a group of Tennessee fans waiting to meet with Butch Jones. Let's go live to the UT campus right now. Oh, that's not good. Oh, no, that's not good at all. Okay, guys, here's my question. Seriously,
was that major?
Yeah. Yeah, that whole film. That's when Fulmer was going. How damaging was that loss for Butch Jones in terms of the present and the future? Start with you.
If you want to put it in the context of a car wreck, I think it's 2 flat tires. He can overcome it, but it's going to take a little bit of work. I don't think it's not going to kill it, but I think it is fairly serious.
I always look at it this way, you know, no matter what, 20% of the fan base probably doesn't like the coach and wants somebody else. 20% is going to be bought in no matter what. And then you got the rest in the middle. Well, once you start having games like this, more and more of that middle goes to that side that doesn't like you, and they're never going to come back. So you got a bigger group now that's never going to come back no matter what.
The 20% that are angry are typically the loudest.
Yes.
And they can influence the others.
I'd say the present day damage is very, very, very catastrophic. Down the road, I think you can recover from that if you can beat Arkansas and Georgia and get some wins. But right now, he doesn't have a lot of support.
Yeah, and that's asking a lot. I mean, to overcome that, you're going to have to put a string of big-time wins against tough SEC competition. I mean, can they do it? At this point, I don't have a lot of confidence that they can. But if you get it done, people, you'll remember this, but it won't hurt as bad.
I thought this was going to be an overreaction week, one way or the other. If you win, everything's perfect until your next loss. You know, if you beat Florida and lost to Arkansas, Florida would have been forgotten. If you just lost this one, I think it would have been an overreaction. The way you lost this one, the deja vu back to Oklahoma, made it worse than I anticipated. But I still think, you know, if the guy beats Florida next year and they start winning next year, or upset in Alabama, I think he recovers.
Well, Butch Jones and this group has been great at marketing and developing a brand. But now the brand on the field is starting to take hold as well.
Yep.
Which is you lose in the fourth quarter. You're not very good at time management. So now you're having to overcome, you're good at this side, but now the natural brand of your game day coaching is this.
All right, we got to catch a break. Some guys played well yesterday. We'll talk about them, but a whole lot of people had bad days. We'll throw a little blame around. Come on back on the Sports Source.
From East Tennessee to the Carolinas, no job is too big for Benedict Construction. Patios and decks, custom remodels, even custom homes. With a reputation for excellence, rely on the custom work of Benedict Construction.